Welcome back to Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. I'm Juliette Hahn here with my co-host, Brent Sopel. Happy Monday.
It's Monday. Sun's shining.
It is Monday. The sun is shining. I have to say, it's a nice day.
It's October. What is it today?
The 6th.
6th.
Oh, okay. So it's October 6th, and there is a giant full moon tonight.
Giant full moon. Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be some weird energies out there. I just want to, anyone that's re-listening, when they're listening to this, when this goes out, because it's going to go out after, obviously, the full moon, they might go back and be like, interesting.
Where's retrograde today?
That doesn't happen until November. Mercury in retrograde is November. I believe it starts on the 4th. So we'll start feeling it at the end. We had some of those conversations this weekend, and my one cousin was like, yeah, I don't really believe in that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's fine. That's each our own. But that's not why that's not what we're talking about on our dyslexia podcast.
I saw you sent me that picture. Was the Peace Bridge?
Yes. So that was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's the Peace Bridge. And then what was the other?
I don't know. The other bridge is the bridge that separates U.S. and Canada.
Yes, and one of the families that you've sent the Starbucks, dyslexic Starbucks, and their son wears it. Her name is Tiffany. She's such a wonderful soul. She did an event, and she's probably listening to this, so very good job. They did an event in Buffalo, and it's the Peace Bridge between U.S. and Canada in red, and then buildings all over Buffalo in red for Dyslexia Awareness, which is awesome. She did an event and, had to have people bring stories and did all these like really beautiful things at the beginning of October for Dyslexia Awareness Month. And I think that is really cool. I mean, it's a really cool thing. I didn't realize red. Did you know? I mean, red's my favorite color. We know that.
Red's Dyslexia Awareness color.
Yeah.
But as we talked about, who picked that?
I know.
Like,
who picked the month?
How long were the lights on? Just for the night?
I don't know. I can find out though.
Yeah. Which is cool, but it's, you bring, it's cool that they'll do that, but it's going a little bit further, right? You New York, New York, that's where you are, right? And it's easy for them to flip a light on, right? Coincide with whatever that event is, or pink for birth, I don't know, purple, whatever, obviously did for dyslexia. But where's the follow through after that?
Yeah, can I say that my child has dyslexia and his IEP? No. Right. Do I have to yell and scream to get it put in? Yes. Do some of the teachers say, oh, well, he doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with him? Well, what does that fucking mean? Asshole.
And that's kind of my, I don't know if gruff is the right word, with Dyslexia Awareness Month.
You could say gruff. It's a gruff.
Who picked it? Who picked October? But just because we say it's just like, what's the next step? Where is the next step? There's never been a next step. There's still not going to be a next step. So, you have all these people that are the dyslexic world are just itching for this month because 99% of them are all, bad people trying to do, for their own agendas, not for the kids. So they think they can just lick at the chops for 31 days and keep promoting their business, not kids, not the kid in the chair, not helping their business. I'm the dyslexic tutor or this or that or whatever, and I run this foundation. We do this. Dyslexia Awareness Month brings out a lot of I in people, and that's kind of where I have a hard time with it. Nobody's calling each other, hey, let's do this event, or let's do this event, or hey, let's do something together like this. It's never a two-way street.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things you just brought up a really good point, because it was interesting. I was doing, I was thinking about this because I was doing a post for the Sopel Foundation, and it was about the kid in the chair, because obviously that's what we know the foundation's all about. It's about the kid in the chair. There's nothing else. That's if something helps the kid in the chair, we will do it. If it does not help the kid in the chair, we're not jumping on it. And that's, that has come from, directly from you. And I think one of the things, and it's really important. I think one of the things that I was thinking about is, as I put the kid in the chair post up, and then was looking at other people's dyslexic awareness posts.
Yeah.
A lot of them are about the positives. And we've talked about this many, many times throughout, but I think what is really important is that it's you're so distracted, aren't you?
She got a little salt stick, so she gets to chew her little salt stick. Elizabeth was trying to get in the other room, and nope, she wants to be right here. I said, so she's good. So you might hear some salt stick in the background.
That's okay. Well,
that's not Elizabeth.
It's totally fine. I can't hear anything. But that's the thing that, from the start of the podcast, and we're going to bring it up, is that you're not negative. Someone might say that you are. I mean, okay, listen, sometimes you have some negative stuff that you say, but it's not typically coming from a negative, angry place. It's coming from a real place of...
and I'd throw the word in hurt place most times. If it was hurt personally, or to hurt the foundation, or hurt another kid, or, a lot of that.
Right. And so I think that that's really important that we mention that often, because it could come across that it's more negative. And anyone that, knows me, I'm sunshine and rainbows. I don't. Yeah, I am. My personality is, I can find the good in everything, and I literally can. Even some of the worst things I can find, and it's a gift.
Your dyslexia? Hey, can you find the good in your dyslexia now?
I can, but I could before. I mean, I used to go. Yeah, sometimes my dyslexia is annoying, but there's some things that I'm like, if I wasn't dyslexic, I wouldn't be able to speak and connect with the people the way I do. I really 100%. Don't. I wouldn't have the awareness of other people and the empathy, I don't think, in the same way that I do. And also the bullshit meter, right? I mean, I don't think I would have any of that without my dyslexia.
No, it's, people ask the question for me, obviously we're kind of going off where it was, is the dyslexia got you to the NHL, 100%. My spatial awareness and, be able to anticipate and do, so there. But, at what cost did it get me there?
Right.
So, it's, dyslexia can be a gift, and that's what we talk about. We focus on the kid on the chair. If we can make each kid comfortable and be okay with who they are, and, if you do that, everything else comes along. All your gifts come out, if we can do that, then we've succeeded. And that's the difference.
Mm-hmm. And I think with the post, one of the things that I was putting up was really about, like, if you see someone struggling, just assume, oh, it's a summer birthday, they're just a little behind, or, oh, they might not be that smart, or all of these different things that as in education, that's what you're taught to do. And so it's not that it's anyone's doing anything that, like, being malicious on purpose, but for the most part. But if you see someone struggling over and over again, or even like we've talked about, if you're the gym teacher and, Sarah goes to the left every single time you say right, like, just pause, because that could be something that's like, you know what, let me just see, is this kid trying harder than they need to? And we've talked about this with all three of my kids. I mean, it's crazy to me that two of my kids weren't diagnosed with not dyslexia, but dysgraphia and dyscalculia until they were in high school, until they started taking the AP classes that were harder. And then it was like, well, wait a second, why are you working so hard? I'm so confused. Like, are we trying to get 101? You should be asleep. Like, you're up until 4 a.m. doing it. And all of a sudden it was like this light bulb went off. And if I wasn't doing the work with you, even though I know this world inside and out, I wouldn't have thought about it in the same way.
Well, that's, obviously we always think of things differently than everybody else. People always say, "Oh, I would have never thought about that." Obviously that's a famous line when I'm talking about something like, "Oh, I would have never thought about that way." Well, obviously pretty tough to when your brain's not wired that way, and so you're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little run in last week with somebody at the facility with her dad. She's like, "I've been working here for 28 years and I know best." I'm like, "Oh, it sounded like a teacher."
Right. It's
obviously we walked out of there, got a bunch,
yeah, you probably got
cold, but it reminded me of a teacher.
Did it tweak you?
I was already tweaked going in. The lady tweaked me for a couple of weeks. She's lucky I'm biting my tongue because somebody's getting an email right now. But because I know where. So she's our case manager for that.
Yeah.
So if I go and burn the bridges, that's going to affect him. So I'm biting my tongue.
Totally.
I had to leave the first day. Elizabeth does a great job keeping her calm with her, but it was just. Lady said, "I've been working in this industry for 28 years." She didn't say an expert. We said, "Oh, her dad's supposed to get released in a week. What are step 2 and 3, 4?" She goes, "Well, in a week in our time is a long time. 3 or 4 days in our world is a long time." Her and I looked at each other and go, "Okay, how did we know that?" Let's bring it back to, dyslexia, right? This is new for parents. You've been doing it for 28 years. Great. We're here our first time.
Right.
So, a teacher, a principal, a special ed, let's have some of oh, I'm not an expert. I just found out. What the fuck? I'm swearing like a kid. So it was exactly, and I walked out of there hot. I want to take this woman and throw her out of the 3rd floor. And I would have gladly waved on her way down. Because that's how frustrated I was.
Yeah.
And this isn't about, her, this is her dad, her mom. They're sitting there during it. I can kind of remove myself a little bit. That's obviously I'm good at doing that anyway. So I'm dissecting things a little bit different for them. But just as a parent should never go through the IEP meeting that, here in the medical world, they shouldn't be either. Right. Just because, and so obviously she's not us, right? I've been doing this 20 years. I know best. Okay, you're right. But the people you're talking to have never been in this situation before. So you should, how are we supposed to know that 3 or 4 days is a long time in your world? We've never been in this world. We're new in this world.
So right, to have compassion, right? Compassion.
Teachers, superintendents, special ed teacher, where is that?
It's a number. You're a number. There's not a heart in it.
Right. No, that's where people prey on in this dyslexic world. There's some good people trying to do some great things, 100%, no question. But there's a very few that are there for the kid in the chair. And that's why, it's, you text, it's like, you want to hey, what are we going to do for Dyslexia Awareness Month?
I know.
Well, it doesn't get the proper spotlight when the wrong people are leading.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, tough when still, is that getting the kid in the chair?
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. We talk about it, we'll continue to talk about it this month. Right. But I don't know, to put a huge campaign or whatever, that should be for us all year round.
All the time. Exactly. And I know that. And I know you feel like that. But I also am like, well, we're going to do it from the Sobel Foundation. And I know you do.
Yeah. Do it. It's just, not putting the, because how many people watch, you'll see, oh, you haven't done anything for a long time. Now they're going to pop back up. Oh, let me grab the momentum. Let me grab,
Yeah, let me feel, right.
Right.
Let me feel like I'm doing something and I can do it on this month because this is when it's recognized. No, you, and that's the thing where, again, when I'm saying the negative or the positive, you bring very real information to the surface that others, whether they know they're doing it or not, right? They're like, fuck, I did that. I mean, we've all guilty at times. We're like, shit, I didn't think about that. And you see something pop up and you're like, or someone's talking about something and you're like, I didn't do anything. But this is where I think it's really important. And this is where I think a lot of times dyslexia is put on the back burner because people don't think it's as serious as it is. They don't think, oh, wait, okay. So it's like, I mean, listen, we have all done it for something, right? And like where it's like someone's talking about it and you're in your head, you might be like, oh, okay. Well, that's a sad story, or, oh, okay, I get it, but it doesn't because it's not impacting you directly. Sure. That's just human nature. But so I think so many people that are not impacted directly or don't think they're impacted, because there's so many people that we talk to, then they're like, oh shit, like, right, I stuffed that, or I didn't want to talk about that, or I got through school and I wasn't thinking about it. But that's where it's so important that, that people that are in the dyslexic world, you have to remember who you're putting your eggs in whose basket, because you don't know what the intents are on the back end. You don't know what their thoughts are, what their intentions are, what they're doing, what they're pushing. And so you have to do your homework on it. And it can be overwhelming. I mean, we know that it can be very overwhelming.
Well, it is overwhelming because there's a lot to it, right? And how many people, that also say they're dyslexic, but we've been around them long enough that they want to be part of it. They don't have the full understanding of what it is. And the hardest part is, that's why, a kid always, when they want to skip school, it's a tummy ache, right? Or it's a headache. Why? Because you can't see, right? You can't say I broke my wrist. Well, they know you didn't, right? So, they're smart, to be able to hide things, right? But that's the brain, that's the stomach, right? Nobody can get in there and say, let me peek in there. There's a lot of nuances that goes to dyslexia, and that's why it's easy to tell who doesn't have it, because how they lead and how they speak is different than someone who does.
The other thing is that you just said that's really, a lot of times the kid in the beginning doesn't realize why their stomach hurts, right? And it's anxiety. It's anxiety, and it goes to their stomach. I can go very woohoo, and I'm not going to, but some of us, well, I'm going to touch on it a little bit. I was not going to, now I have to. Don't shake your head. One of the things is all of us feel in different ways. Some of us are more guttural. So we think our emotions are more in our gut. Some of us are more in our heart. So our emotions are more in our heart. Some of us are more in our head, and we're built that way. So sometimes a kid could also say my heart's bothering me, or I'm skipping a beat, or all of these different things. If a child seems like they're very in tuned to something that's going on, just pause. And sometimes it's exhausting. I was that kid that was very aware of everything that was going on, but I also didn't love school. So I think this is happening to me. I think we need to go to the doctor and get it checked out, and I remember my mom saying, there was times in the beginning you were like, okay, well, I kind of have to, but what is this? And it was me being very completely in tune. So you're going to have a kid that comes and says either they have a stomach ache or they have a headache or something is bothering them. And that usually means they're now aware. Because in the beginning, you're not aware. As a child, you're not aware that you're struggling until all of a sudden it's this is really hard. And you don't know that, maybe especially in the younger grades, what kids are doing things. But then all of a sudden, your kid will say, did you know that Johnny was in, level F in reading? And your child brings that up 3 or 4 times. It's bothering them. It's bothering them that they're at a different level and they don't know how to express it. They don't know what to talk about. But that's so important. If your child does a comparison thing in school sometimes and does dig in a little bit, especially if you have dyslexia in your world, in your family, or if you are like, I am not the best speller, but I got by, right? And you don't think that you are, or like Johnny's going to the nurse all the time. There is a fucking reason. And it's not, I hate so much when it's like, oh, it's just because they're antsy or they're a boy or they don't want to sit still or they don't like to do directions or they don't like this. They don't like that. Well, why? There is a fucking reason.
Oh, school's not easy for everybody.
No.
No, it's life isn't easy, but then going to somewhere where you're struggling for 8 hours is an Uber fun.
Right. And it's not. And it's just to be aware of it and to think about it, and not just even in our busy ways as parents. Sometimes we don't have time to listen because we're all going different ways. And I know so many parents that are in not the best spaces right now. And that means that your kids are not going to be in the best spaces. And it's no judgment, no whatever on anyone, but just listen a little bit more if that kid, especially we're in October. So, some kids have been going to school for 2 months, some 1, some 3. This is when things start getting hard.
Mike Malick's favorite holidays coming up.
Halloween. Where would you, or you want to change the subject?
No.
Or you just wanted to throw random. I know who it is.
Well, you're talking about October.
Yeah, which is your favorite holiday?
Oh, hang on. Brahma had the best find she's ever had. It's almost been 2 years. Best find ever.
Is this the candy?
Caramels?
I do. I mean,
they come in balls now with no wrappers.
Just in a bag?
Yeah. So for baking, for eating. So you don't have to unwrap all the wrappers. Best find ever.
You did on your Dyslexic Awareness Month.
It doesn't make the holiday baking because I open it up and I eat handfuls of it.
Right.
But I don't have to fight with plastic. The best find ever. Standing ovation for her. She came home with. I'm like, where did you find this?
It's you talked about it on your
right
on your video.
It was because I was driving right through a grocery store to make my loop with my donut. But that's the best find yet. Oh. I just got the look.
Donut? I heard a donut.
Yes, my shell is 2 Red Bulls and a chocolate Long John.
Oh, talk about diabetes.
So what?
I had too much sugar this weekend, and
would you have a real sugar? Did you have a 1 real sugar peanut cup? Oh my goodness, girlfriend! Oh,
shut up. I used to have too much sugar. No, it killed my arthritis. My hands and my arthritis.
It had nothing to do with you moving stuff.
This was before, motherfucker. This was before I moved stuff. I woke up and my arthritis, and it hasn't been that bad. No, trust me. I used to down honey bears. I used to eat brown sugar.
What is honey bears?
Honey. Like the honey that comes in a bear.
Yeah.
I used to I could eat pure honey in a honey. Like I would down, like that would be.
Ooh, rebel.
Oh, shut up. And I used to eat that.
Is that when you have your on your Subaru too?
I never drove a Subaru. It's a Volkswagen.
Did you wear the Tiva? Is it Tiva sandals too?
No, I did not. And you've talked about this. I did not wear Tivas. I'm a little crunchy, but no, not that.
I'm surprised you're not up in California.
Because I like the environment and I like to do things. And I like yoga and that kind of stuff. And I used to eat tons. We've talked about this. Fun Dip were my favorite. And I loved the Fun Dip stick. That was like, I would take everyone's Fun Dip stick. Like they would be like, oh, this is too sugary. Any cake, I would only eat the icing. No. And then one day it was like, guess what? You can't do that anymore. And so I had to stop. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So the caramels sound wonderful.
They
I'm
are
so
amazing,
glad.
except for we're out. So I'm going to have to get a couple of. She's eating like 2 bags a week.
She? Well, because all the cookies she's baking? Or is there someone else, a cookie monster, coming in before? I think that would be you. So clearly our attention deficit is in wonderful mode, but just a lot of things to think about. And we've asked all, like, are you asking questions this month in dyslexic awareness? But ask the right question. Don't make someone with dyslexia feel, especially if they're not okay with their dyslexia, they're not going to love your question. So be aware. Self-awareness. Self-awareness. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
I like leave it with your self-awareness.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, we're just going to say like, rate, review, and share. To share. Always share. And we'll see you for another episode of Word Blindness Dyslexia Exposed.